Sunshine Shoulders is a channel that's geared toward the new man and woman who's never been to the Philippines before, but who's contemplating making a visit here for a slow vacation or to rejuvenate. My 11 years of being affiliated with the Philippines doesn't make me an expert. And if I ever come off as a know-it-all, I want to apologize. I'm really just trying to be helpful. But it does offer a unique perspective that I like to share with you if it's going to make your trip here more enjoyable and above all more safer, to help you to avoid a lot of the problems and a lot of mistakes that I made when I first came over here. I'm boots on the ground here. I'm right in the middle of all of this. I live among the locals. I'm not like a lot of these other vloggers that you see on YouTube talking about the Philippines around the edges in these fancy towers and stuff. And I'm going to give you the nitty gritty. And that's simply exactly what I'm seeing, exactly what I'm living, exactly what I'm experiencing. And I'm never going to sugarcoat that. And I'm not going to start today. Today is a touchy subject. Received an email from a gentleman. He's going through a tough breakup with his Filipina. And he asked me, he said, you know, Calvin, have you ever had to deal with anything like that? You know, he asked me what were my thoughts on that. So I said, you know, I might as well talk about it. I might as well make a video about it. No matter when we come over here, because, you know, let's be honest, 90% of my viewers and subscribers are men. And they're coming over here to meet a lady. All right? And no matter how well-intentioned you are, sometimes, you know, a perfect love goes wrong, man. And when it goes wrong over here, sometimes it can go very wrong. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about, the points I'm going to make, they can all come from my first serious relationship that I had over here. Because one thing I learned, and a lot of foreigners are going to learn, Westerners when they come over here, is that Filipinos love hard. They love strong, and they fall fast. And, you know, it doesn't take them long. See, there's no divorce over here. So she's learned at a young age how to spot a good man. All right? Because, you know, I'm not generalizing anything, but, man, you can talk to Filipino after Filipino after Filipino. She only wants one man. That's it. All right? So she loves fast, she loves hard. Once you come over here and she figures out, hey, this guy's a good guy. You know, he's one of the good guys. His heart's in the right place. He's a decent man. He's not going to disrespect me. He's not going to mistreat me. Man, her love meter starts clicking immediately. And it's working overtime. And see why we're being so cautious, because a lot of us, when we get over here, we're either went through a bit of divorce, going through a bit of divorce. We've already been screwed over at home. You know, we got the brakes on when we get here. We're very cautious. And there's nothing wrong with that. But see, while you're being cautious, she's already making plans for your future together. And every day it just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. But with us, we want to kick the tires. We want to test drive it. You know, because we've been fooled before. You know, and I'm not comparing a Filipino to a used car, obviously. I'm just trying to make an analogy. We've been to the lot. We've seen the nice car, the one we think we want. And we put everything down that we got, and we take it home, and everything's okay. Then a week later, we got an oil leak in the driveway, or the engine light won't go off. See, so we've been fooled like that before. So we're cautious. So while you're being cautious and you're both together, you're being cautious, she's making plans for your future. So then, for whatever reason, because there's a lot of reasons that we break up with Filipinos, man, even though they're some of the most perfect companions that you're ever going to have on the planet, man. This is just my humble opinion. There's some things that culturally will come up that will make you say, okay, I'm not ready. Number one, they're fast. You know, they're going to push you toward that altar quick. And a lot of us don't like that. We're not ready for that. Remember, we come over here, we're already wounded. All right? So don't be in a hurry. And don't be in a hurry even when you choose a lady. That's why I always give you that advice. Take your time. Because when you break a Filipino's heart, man, it may never mend, man. She may never heal from that. That's how deep they love. So there's some things, here's a few things, Number one, she's clingy. Some guys don't like that. For me, I like that. I like my woman always at my side and, waiting on me, hand and foot. But some guys don't like it. Some guys think that they're trying to henpeck them. Oh, you're always looking over my shoulder. They just want your undivided attention, your 100% trust. That's what they want, because they're in it for the long run. And that's how it was for me. I mean, this woman was beautiful. And if you don't believe me, go on my YouTube channel. My first 3 videos, and this before I was just really making videos as a tourist really over here. But my first 3 videos have her on there, and you'll see how beautiful she was. I mean, she was perfect. But the problem was I had just went through a bit of divorce, man. My wife drugged me over there. I lost my home, my reputation was at stake, because long before I ever even thought about coming to the Philippines, I was going through my divorce. But then once she seen me coming over here, she made it all about the Philippines, man. And I mean, her lawyer worked at Angle, and she took me to the cleaners, turned my kids against me. It's just a whole other story, but I'm just telling you. So I've got all this baggage already. So when I came over here, man, I wasn't looking to get married. All right, I wasn't coming over here to try to use nobody either, but I definitely didn't want to get married. That wasn't what I was looking for. But she definitely was. And she got to pushing me, man, and she got to, pressuring me and, what's your plans for me? That's their favorite word, And, no matter what I did to try to reassure her, like, hey, slow down. I'm going to marry you, just give me some time. I just come out of the divorce, and it was bitter. I was together with her for 18 years, slow down a little bit. She wouldn't do it, man. She just kept on pressing me, and it pushed me away. So eventually, I got tired of hearing that, and even though I still loved her, and that's one other thing I want to tell you. If you still love the Filipina, man, try to work it out. Don't break up with her, because I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna cause you some heartache, because she moves on quick for whatever reason, to try to forget you, to try to get over that heartache or whatever. They move along quick, and that's what happened with her. Next thing I know, because she shut down. They're very, very stubborn, man, and you're not gonna see that until you go through a breakup. And Filipinos are stubborn, man. They're so stubborn, it'll drive you mad. It'll drive you insane. She stopped answering my emails, stopped replying to my messages, the whole thing, man. We have a son together. I mean, it drove me crazy, because I couldn't figure out, what was going on. I really didn't get a chance to apologize. But when I finally did hear from her, she was already married and living in North Carolina. I mean, it blew me away, man. I couldn't sleep at night just thinking about her with some other man. So they move on quick. So if you still love her, try to work it out best you can. If you can't, then hey, you're gonna have to deal with that. But what happens, like I said, whenever something goes wrong over here, perfect love goes wrong, it never ends right over here. Like I said, their hearts may never mend. So first thing that you're going to hear is talk of suicide. Oh, I want to kill myself. If you don't want me, you tarnish my name, you embarrass me in front of my family, and they really feel that way. You used me. I was just a pastime for you. So they start talking about suicide. And then the suicide turns into revenge. Because if I didn't hear it one time, I heard it 10 times. I'm going to get you blacklisted, and you'll never be able to come to the Philippines again. Because, guys, it's very easy for them to do. All they have to do is go to the barangay captain, then go to the police and say, hey, he's mistreating me. and your goose is cooked. They're going to believe her 100 times out of 100 times. And when you marry a Filipino, or you in love with the Philippines, you married to all of the Philippines. They're going to look after her best interest. So they'll start talking about revenge, and I'm gonna tell you, man, they're good at that. I had to get off Facebook, man, because I had changed this woman's life. You gotta remember, when I met her, she was working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, no days off, working to exhaustion. She lived in this little tiny room in the house. Trust me, man, and I'm not gonna lie to you. The room was so small that she slept with her back on the floor and her feet on the wall, man. That's how small it was. Took her from that, said, look, honey, you ain't never got to work again. I'm going to take care of you. We moved into a brand new condominium, you know, the whole 9 yards, you know. But it didn't matter. See, once it looked as if we were going to break up, man, she forgot all about that. It was all about cutting my neck off, you know, man. I was the worst guy ever, and, you know, this and that, calling me names, you know. I had to get off of Facebook, you know. So it's revenge, and then it goes to moving on, see, because that's part of the revenge, is moving on. They're going to show you that you messed up. They were the best thing you ever had. And what better way to do that than be in the arms of somebody else? So that's why I tell you, man, if you're still in love with her, you better try to work it out, guys, because if you don't, she's going to move on. And next thing you know, you're going to look up and, hey, she's going to be with somebody else. And your goose is cooked. You know, but I just wanted to kind of touch on that, man. You know, sometimes it goes wrong, man. You know, it's a lot of cultural things, man, that make you split up. You know, you may not like the fact that she eats with her hands, or she smacks her food, or she's clingy, or, you know, she wants to henpeck you, you know, or you're just not ready for a serious relationship. So here's what I want you to do, guys. To kind of soften the blow when it's over, instead of just being this old dog that, you know, they think we are anyway. You know, be honest and upfront with her first. Let her know, hey, say, honey, you know, I really like you, but, you know, I just got a divorce. I'm really not trying to get deep into a relationship. You know, and it's going to be hard because, man, when they meet you at the airport, man, they bringing their suitcase with them. I'm telling you, man, they're going to be with you from the time you hit the ground to then. So be honest, you know, and that way, when it's over with, she can't say, because remember I told you don't make no promises on my other video. She's going to remember every promise you made. She's going to hold you to every promise you make, and then when you don't, man, she's going to smear your name all over the Philippines, man. You're going to have a hard time, you know, trying to get with somebody else. You're going to have to move on the other side of the Philippines, man. So be honest. You know, only cowards come over here and lie, because you don't have to lie. They're mature enough. They can handle the truth. All right, so that's how you kind of soften the blow. And then take your time. You know, I can't reiterate that enough. You know, I keep telling guys and giving them an advice, don't fall in love with the first pretty face. It's a lot of cultural differences over here that we got to deal with, man. You know, kick the tires. Take it around the block a few times. Okay? Or when you get it home, it's going to be a leak in the driveway. All right? The engine light's going to stay on. Okay? But it's too late. You've already bought it. So be honest with these ladies, because when you break a Filipina's heart, it may never heal, man. It may never mend. And you got problems on your hands. So thank you for stopping by. It's just something I wanted to talk about today, because the guy's really hurting, man. You know, it didn't work out, and she's moving on. And I just want to tell him, man, you know, it's going to be okay. You know, there's more fish in the sea. So thank you for stopping by. If you're in America, it's not too late before you let your head hit the pillow. Help somebody. If you're in the Philippines, we got all the rest of the day to find somebody to help. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Stay COVID free, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.